Around 8,000 people will be at Apia Park this afternoon at 2 o'clock New Zealand time when Samoa hosts the All Blacks. It's an historic first test between the two teams, as you know, in the Pacific Island. Apia has been awash with colour and anticipation ahead of the game, and Jim, as you know, is there. Jim, you are almost hyperventilating with excitement. Where are you?
Paul, good morning. I'm in a downtown market in Apia where you can buy just about anything that you need to for today's game. You can buy these very annoying thunder sticks. Of course, you get your obligatory Manu Samoa hat, or you could get a Manu Samoa cap, or, Paul, I'm bringing one of these home for you, mate, a Manu Samoa wig. Yep, there's also flags. Now, I've worked something out. They're quite clever over here, Paul. So the Samoan flag is about $3. The New Zealand flag, that's $15.
Love it.
So there's obviously a tax if you want to support New Zealand today.
Yeah, I absolutely love it, Jim. Absolutely love it.
You can also...
Now, a couple of quickies, Jim. 8,000 people. Some people will be surprised that there will only be 8,000 people at the game. Is that just literally logistics, the size of the grounds?
Yeah, that's right. They had to make it a little bit smaller than it normally is because of some concerns around scaffolding. They have set up a big live screen down where the parade finished, a little bit to the right of where I am at the moment, and there will be thousands and thousands of people watching it there. Every rugby club, I would imagine, will have the game on, and the way that Samoa works, I think if you went to a local community, maybe a church or something like that, there'll be a hall there that's got it on as well. And Paul, if you look at the number of sales of these sort of T-shirts that the lovely Moana over here is selling next to me, there is a huge amount of interest in this game. It is just quite staggering. You know,
it's still quite early in the morning over there. It's you're an hour ahead, so it's about 8 o'clock. It's about 10 past 8 there, and yet there's this really vibrant atmosphere. Have you got the feeling that this is a country basically in celebration mode?
Yes, absolutely. The Prime Minister has declared this afternoon to be a public holiday, so people only have to work up to midday. And if we just pan back around the other way over here, you'll see that there's even more people sort of queuing up here. There's, Paul, another one of these markets directly over the road from us. They'll be all over downtown Apia today. And yeah, there is a huge amount of interest in this game. But what's really interesting, though, is that people, yes, they're going to support Manu Samoa, but there is a huge amount of support for the team that in black. So it's going to be just, I think, a festival of rugby, really, where people get in behind whatever happens.
OK, Jim, yesterday I heard that you talked about preparation, and of course there was a wonderful parade and the All Blacks have been swept off their feet with admiration and excitement from the crowds there. You said that this was going to hamper their preparation. Seriously, Jim, do the All Blacks really need to prepare for this match?
No, I don't think it will hamper their preparation. What I said was that it is a unique day. There's never been a day like yesterday before any other All Black test that I've ever been around, and it's been quite a few of them. It was just simply unique. But you're dead right. And I talked to Liam Messam, the loose forward, about this. There's a lot of experience in that team, Paul. What happened yesterday won't affect them at all. What will affect them, without question, is the heat. It is already extremely hot here this morning. It was very hot yesterday, got up to about 30 degrees, and it's going to get up to about 30 degrees today as well. So how both sets of teams cope with that type of heat is going to be really, really interesting.
Well, I suppose we'll find it a little bit harder than the others. Let's talk about preparation now, but more your preparation. So you go to the parade yesterday in open sandals and cut your toe.
Yes, I had a run-in with an Apia curb, and let's just say that it's Apia curb 1 and Jim K's 0. But I'm okay, mate. I've soldiered on. I got an email from Hillary telling me to harden up, and that Richie McCaw wouldn't have let it bother him, and she's dead right. There's the offending toe all bandaged up. So I'm okay, Paul, but thank you for your concern.
No. Don't get me wrong. There was no concern. Okay, you've given me your scoreline.
There was.
Okay, your scoreline is curb 1, you 0. What is the scoreline for 2 o'clock this afternoon? When this game's over, how far ahead will we be?
Oh, look, I think it'll be quite close. So really? I'm going to go something like 36-26. But I'll whisper this bit because there's a lot of Samoans around here, Paul, to New Zealand. OK? I think New Zealand might win. I'm sorry. But I think that, New Zealand will win. But I'll promise you something, Paul. A team with some Samoans in it will win.
Oh, no, you're absolutely right there. All right, so here's my prediction, right? And I mean, I know what you'll think. What do I know?
Oh, yes.
But I've done some research here, Jim, and I'm going to say 56-14. I agree with you. I think the All Blacks will win, but I think 56-14 because I think they are going to be hampered more by the heat, obviously, than Samoa will be. So that's going to affect the scoreline.
Okay, well, I've already had to give you $5 and Hillary's got it underneath her table. So let's put that $5 back on the line. It's a token, symbolic gesture. And whichever one of us is closer gets the money.
God, he's tight. All right, that's lovely, Jim. You take care. We're going to talk to you later on in the program and you're going to have a chat with Steve Chu as well, who must be firing on all cylinders already this morning. Thanks a lot, Jim. Our very own Jim. Right, all right, let's get back to Jim and Samoa now because today is the big day. 2 o'clock this afternoon, New Zealand time is the big time. Jim, do you have the feeling yet that Samoa is completely full? I don't think all of our politicians have arrived just yet, but the plane will be landing soon.
No, there's a fair few of them coming up, Paul. They certainly are. And look, I just want to point out to you, this really sums up the split allegiances that there are around this game. This is Holly, who works at one of the local cafes, and on one side of his head, Paul, you've got a silver fern shaved into the side of his head, and on the other side of his head, you've got the word Manu, which is obviously Manu Samoa. So Holly kind of sums up for me, Paul, what's happening here in Apia today, that there's a lot of support for the black and white, but also a lot of support for the blue and white, Paul.
Yeah, no, look, I get the feeling too that actually there will be no losers in the crowd today. I mean, Samoa is the big winner no matter what the scoreline is.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the people, Paul, who's responsible for exactly what you've just said, getting them over here, is New Zealand boss Steve Chu. Steve, thanks for joining us. This test has been a long time in coming. I guess there's a little bit of pressure on you guys to have been here. How happy are you now that the All Blacks are here?
Oh, no, it's fantastic, isn't it? I mean, you can just see what's happened around the island over the last few days. The whole place has got incredibly excited by it, and as you say, a lot of connections to New Zealand, a lot of split alliances, but I think what we're going to see this afternoon is a pretty full-on game of footy, actually, and it's going to be pretty hot.
You've had some staff up here to help prepare for the game. Talk me through that.
Yeah, we'd always send folk up to help in a place where they're not necessarily used to a match of this scale. We had a team go to Chicago before that game as well. So we've had people here last 3 or 4 days. They've been up 2 or 3 times in advance. Major focus has been on the ground, and that's in pretty good shape. So we're really pleased about that.
Are you going to make $1 out of this game?
No, we've made a deal with the Samoans. They keep all the profit. So from that point of view, it's a good legacy as well. And we've obviously donated a lot of gear yesterday to school. So I think us coming here has done more than just the match. Yeah.
On that note, you do have to make money out of All Black Test matches. So how likely are we to see more of these games in the Pacific Islands?
Yeah, well, that's the challenge, isn't it? And it's fitting these extra games in is the problem for us. We have a very full program, and the revenues we generate from that program helps us keep the community game alive right through to keeping our best talent in New Zealand. And if we don't, unfortunately, make that money, then we've got a battle. So, but look, we've got a responsibility in this part of the world. We know that, and this is a very big occasion for us and for Samoa, and we'll no doubt repeat it in another island at some stage. I'm just not sure when that'll be.
Fantastic. Enjoy today's game. It's going to be great. Paul, it's going to be an absolute cracker of a test match.
OK, just very quickly, can you ask Steve what he thinks of my scoreline? 56-14 to the All Blacks. What does he reckon?
Paul's picking 56-14 to the All Blacks. What do you reckon?
Is he? So they're going to convert those 2 tries, Paul, you reckon?
Yeah,
do you think Samoa will convert their tries?
Yeah,
it's a bit windy.
Right. OK, all right. So he doesn't believe that. All right. What does he think?
No.
What's your score?
Look, I think actually the first 20 minutes is going to be very competitive, and then I would hope we'd go reasonably long.
Nice. Reasonably long. That means he thinks they're going to win big.
Yes, he does. Unlike you, who picked 36-26. Jim, thank you very much. We'll talk to you again tomorrow morning. You can hear in the background, can't you, Hillary? You can hear.
No worries.
This is a holiday atmosphere in the nation.
I know. You can hear the horns on the cars. It's just brilliant.
Fantastic.